Right, welcome to, this is session 5, is it not? Are we in session 5? Are we in session 5?
I don't
Not
remember.
sure.
I think we are in session 5.
Yeah.
No, we're in session 6. We're in session 6. We're in the second half of the second season now, so we're on the home stretch of the second season, the final 4 episodes. So, here we are. You guys are starting this session. You are on board the Black Train, heading back towards New Corinth. It is a relief to be on the train, to be heading home, I'm guessing. You guys are mostly all in the same carriage. You have not been sequestered to barracks or anything like that, just in case you want some stuff. There you go. You have not been sequestered to barracks. You have your own 3-bed cabin as the train makes its way across the snowy plains back towards the mountains. Again, you're going back with the Blackcoats and the army, so you haven't gone back through the little pass. From what you've heard, the main army came in on a train, and a strike team of Blackcoats came with Swan straight through the pass to help you out. And the main army's been pushing back the undead, and they're generally getting rid of all of the things that were a mess. And quite unfairly, you guys have been blamed by some, because wherever you go, this shit seems to happen. And, quite unfairly, I will say that, But it's not, I don't make the rules, I'm just the GM, this is how the world would react to you, Life isn't fair, and that's just is what it is. The common denominator here is you guys. Essentially, wherever you go, shit keeps going wrong. So, you guys are on the train. Would you like to, when you look out the window, who is next to the window? Who is closest to a window on the train right now?
Probably Sangern. He's just kind of finally resting.
Yeah, you guys have been allowed to shower. There's running water on this train. The black train is a massive. It's more like a convoy, really. If you've ever been to like any of the trains like the L in Chicago and things like that, they're like treble deckers. This is what this train is. It's a huge fucking train. Essentially a town on tracks. And so there is running water. You have been able to shower and wash and get a fresh pair of clothes. If you wanted to, you don't need to. But if you're looking out the window, Sangan, you can see the wastes are passing you by, and you can see the actual shadow of the mountains just coming into view now as we're now into the evening. You've been on the train for about a day, before you got going. There are a lot of Blackcoats on this train. There are about maybe 80 or 90 Blackcoats. Most of them are coming back from the dead mounds after they've done their duty. And they've heard about what's been going on and things like that, and none of them are very happy about all of the explosions and dragon attacks, but a lot of them aren't blaming you. Shit hits the fan. It is what it is, and these are all veterans. These aren't people who are going to be judging you. And a lot of them, some of the guys are here because they've been naughty too, and that's why they're on the black train.
Yeah.
But you've been to the canteen, you've been to places like that on this train, and you're doing your bit. You guys want to have a little talk to each other before, because you've not really had much chance. A lot of you were with the apothecaries and the healers, and only now have you been able to sit down and actually talk. So
Yeah, Sangern's going to want to kind of have a moment of, alright, let's actually kind of go over everything that has happened since we left on the train, because it's not a small amount. Just real quick, would Rake have joined us if Sangern invited him?
Rake would have joined you if he was invited. He has gotten a lot of side looks from Blackcoats, but Ratters are a known quantity, so it's not as if they've never seen one before. Essentially, it's like in the Deep South, if you just go on the train with a black dude in the Deep South in the 1800s. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a reception. It's kind of like a, bit uncomfortable, but, Rake just shrugs it off and just, whatever, it's fine.
So, but yeah, Sangern would have invited him along, definitely. So, but yeah, they kind of just, he just kind of clear his head and just, alright guys, let's make sure we've got everything straight before we, before we end up having to have our talk with Swan. I don't want us him to think we're lying because we're we're just confused.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't lie to the guy.
I'm gonna ask Dennis straight off. What went on back there? I'm just gonna straight on ask. What happened to you, man?
I think I explained the story. I was stranded in the middle of the enemy camp. I didn't expect them to be half as large as they were. They were already at over 200 undead, and I think close to 100 living soldiers. The vampire lady, the necromancer. I attempted to get some corpses and to hide them in the food supply. I don't know if it helped, but it did probably help with the second battle.
Yeah.
And of course, I obtained the dynamite by pretending to be one of them. It was pretty harsh.
What about the blood rage, man? You want to explain that?
Yeah,
Clearly, you were showing signs of vampirism.
As I said, I had to do things to survive there, and it was not easy.
Dennis is looking like more clear-headed now at this point, right?
Yeah. Depends what you mean by clear-headed. As in
Clear-headed for Dennis.
As in he's normal Dennis, yes. But you do notice that there are like veins around his eyes. Not in his eyeballs, but as in around his eyes, the area around his eyes. He has got very bloodshot eyes, very sunken. And you have noticed that, Dennis, you've not really drank since the battle. It's been a day now. So we are going to have to ask you to roll... how many? So it'll be 6 vampiric stoke the blood vampirism. Thank you.
So that's mine for devil. So 6 times 8d6. Oh god, that's a lot of dice.
Can you roll just 42 dice?
No, because an H check needs to be either pass or a fail. That one's a first one's a fail. Second one, I'll do it when you've done them all. Okay, so first one's a fail. Second one is it's 3 successes, is it not?
2.
2. Okay, so first one's a pass. Second one's a pass. Third one's a good pass. That's good. Fourth one's a pass. Fifth one's a pass. Sixth one's a pass. That's fine. So you are not that hungry, right? You managed to keep, or you are hungry, but you managed to keep it under check. You're not like acting out and freaking out, sort of a thing, right? You're getting, shall we say, hankerings for blood, and yeah, you're getting a bit grumpy. You're getting a bit short-tempered, but you know what it is. By this point, you know what it is. So it's almost like when you're ill and you finally find out what it is. You're starting to stop getting so annoyed and irrational.
Yeah, I do imagine Dennis knew what it feels like to be hungry for blood.
Yeah.
Stronger.
Yeah. So now you know what's been causing it. You're pretty much you're annoyed, but you're not going to be jumping over the desk to like gnaw on somebody anytime soon. So yeah, that's the answer.
So I'm gonna look at. Yeah, actually, yeah. So Dennis, how many did you have?
4.
Oh.
So Sangan, you know 4 in any short period of time. That is, and if you drained them as well, that is danger zone. That is like, that's way beyond. Like draining 2 in a short period of time is like, you're now addicted to blood. But draining 4, you're surprised he hasn't gone on a rampage and murdered everybody around him.
Can I roll mind to know that as well?
I don't allow mind checks for just knowledge. If it's do you know what? I can make an exception there because you are a researcher and you are working with 2 vampires. So go ahead and make a mind check for me. Point well made.
It'd be something on my order vigilant trait.
There's no reason why Filberto wouldn't have done that. Yeah, so you get a good sense that he should be suffering, and really he should have been. If this was any other vampire, you'd have put a bullet in him by now.
Yeah.
But he's showing a lot of self-control, and depending on how respectful Filberto is of self-control, if you are respectful of self-control, Filberto would find a new level of respect for Dennis here, because he's showing a really large, set of cojones by just reining it in, sort of a thing.
Yeah,
I'm
Sanger's
still
gonna
cast you a look of surprise, as you tell me that it's for. I'm just gonna just surprise and astonishment.
Yeah, Sangern's gonna kind of just turn towards Dennis and be like, "Are you gonna be good?"
I have been contemplating this for a while, but I might. That's obviously to your master, but I might have him have me lock up for a while.
Understandable. It's gonna be pretty tough when we're back in the city.
Yeah, got used to it.
Do you want to be weaned off your bird addiction? Do you want us to help you bring your condition under control?
I don't need any help. Just throw me into a room and give me food there. Normal human food, no blood for a while.
I'll get in touch with Arthik. We'll see
Yeah, that's the deal. Anyway, for monstrous abominations, what are we doing with the undead?
Yeah, that was what I was gonna get to next. So, Filiberto, have you figured out anything else about your situation?
Well,
did the healers have anything? Notice anything when they were?
Yeah. So the doctor noticed that I don't seem to. I have a calming influence on the undead for some reason. They don't seem to react to me like they react to the living, as you probably saw on the battlefield. I can effectively pass through the hordes of the undead as if I wasn't there.
Like you were one of them.
Yes. I don't know if to answer Sangern's questions, I don't know if the medic said anything. But GM?
It depends on how much you want to keep from them. These are Blackcoat medics, though, so they would notice something's wrong with you, but you can just wave them off if you don't want them to tend to you. To say, look,
no, I tell them the truth and say that.
Okay.
That I was told that the wounds that I received should have killed me.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. It's a case of I'll show them the big gnarly wound and they can have a look at it and see that I guess it's surprisingly healed more than you'd think, or is it unhealed?
Well, if they're gonna know you're undead, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The second you let them in to do this, they're gonna know you're undead.
Yeah.
So it depends on whether you want the. Yeah, it depends if you want these because there are certain different Blackcoats. Some of them would just shoot you on sight.
Yeah.
Remember that. Just
Okay,
just
so
in case.
I won't disclose to him. Would showing them the wound imply that I was undead?
Letting them anywhere near your body would probably imply that you're undead.
Fair enough. Then I'll just say all I need is a few plasters or something like that.
Yeah, you just wave them off because you can literally tell them that you're an apothecary and they'd just be like yes because they know how clever you are. You know what I mean? They're just going to be like, oh, okay, you know. So that's cool. So eventually, Rake comes into your into your cabin, and he sits down, and he looks really sullen, and he just like crosses his arms and just like sits back, looks at the window.
I'm going to look at... Yeah, fair enough. I was going to ask, are you right?
He says, no, not really.
What's up? What's on your mind?
They took away Daisy.
Daisy?
He just looks at you and glances back at the window.
Is he missing his sword?
Daisy's far more precious than any wife.
Does he not have a sword on him?
No.
Who took it?
He said, your boss, I think. I don't know.
A And more correctly, why did
told
they
us.
take it?
He's probably not giving that back.
He just shrugs and looks out the window. He goes, I don't know what you want me to do. I can either carve up this train and jump off, or let him have my sword. And since apparently I'm beholden to you guys now, didn't give me a lot of options.
Yeah, we're
Well-
probably gonna get executed. You could have also just left and not come with, but yeah, don't slice up the train.
Why did you didn't answer my question? Why did he take it in the first place?
I don't know. I was told to hand it over.
Ah,
Well, I doubt. I think once we're off the train, we can probably sort this out and have it given back to you.
He just nods and looks out the window. There's a knock on the door. It's like it's at the door, and if you look over, you can see through the porthole of the cabin. There's a Blackcoat who opens it. It says, "Swan wants to see you."
okay.
Sangren's gonna nod and kind of get up and straighten up, and then start heading over.
Are you all going post haste?
Yeah, not leaving the guy waiting after he saved our ass.
By the way, I'm going to say to Sangon, there was a man you met in town. A very interesting man. Do you hear anything about him?
So
Sangren,
Sangun, he is on the train. Tobias is on the train. You've seen him at the canteen once or twice, but you've always managed to like keep Filberto away from the canteen whilst he's been there.
To keep doing that.
Okay, so yeah, he's on the train.
It's like we'll sort that out when we get back. Maybe we can send for him.
You seem to be keeping me away from him for some reason.
Sangren's just gonna just deadpan look right at Filiberto, and just like, with a look of absolutely, you think?
You don't trust me that at all. You don't trust me enough, eh? I'm just gonna roll my eyes.
We both know that you can't be trusted with someone who can make those kinds of things.
I see a point. I'm almost surprised you let a man like that on the train in the first place.
I wouldn't have told Filiberto that he's on the train. That's why I was like saying that maybe we can send for him later to make Filiberto think he's back in the town.
One last thing with Fulberto. Back in that battle,
Yeah.
were you just incompetent or were you actually trying to kill us?
How do I answer that question?
I don't know.
No, as in legitimately, that would be my answer. My answer is, how do I answer that question?
Oh, okay.
Well, the question is, do we never let you anywhere near artillery again? Or do we make sure we never stand in your line of fire again?
How about we do both? And
Yeah.
here we and let's hold it because we're here.
Yeah.
And I guess we enter Swan's office.
Yep, sure.
Both.
Let me just put that on there. Yeah, so you enter in Swan's office. So he is sitting, steepling, he's smoking a pipe, and he's leaning back. And the office is a mellow mahogany office. A window on either side, looking out over the wastelands that are passing by. And he's sitting down, and he's puffing his pipe, and he says, looks up and says, he notions to the 3 seats in front of him on the other side of his desk with his pipe. And goes back to. He's not even looking at you really. He's just like looking over a few documents and taking a toke of the weed in his pipe.
Yeah, Sangren will sit.
So we are getting used to the way that we're playing, but normally, you guys have to tell me what your characters are doing, or I will not move on. So for all I know, you guys are just standing there, and he's gonna get pissed off.
Dennis is probably kind of standing behind Sangren because he doesn't really want to talk to the big boss, but he has to, so he's probably just standing vaguely behind Sangren.
So you're not gonna take one of the 3 seats?
Are you hiding a little bit?
Yeah, when asked to take the seat, he will probably take it.
Yeah.
But it's obvious reluctance.
If he's smoking, can I also smoke a pre-rolled joint?
Yeah, he's not gonna stop you.
Yeah, I'll light a pre-roll joint. It'd be like, you know, cough syrup level weed.
Yeah, Dennis would probably sigh because that doesn't seem like a good time for drugs.
It's more like cough syrup.
He looks at you and says, would you all like what I'm smoking?
What you got there?
It really takes the edge off, you know?
Ah, is that the stuff from New Corinth?
Aye. He gives you all like 3 cigarettes and he goes, listen,
Sangard would pass on it. He doesn't.
he looks at you, Sangan, dead in the eye, and goes, you might want to have it. Just, you know. And then he sits back and starts toking.
If he's gonna be push about it, Sangard's not going to argue with Swan.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. So he says, first of all, what in God's holy name is that thing you brought on my train?
I'm gonna look towards Filiberto and Dennis. It's like, you might have to be more specific.
I think he means the red person, you know, the one with the sword. He's very rude, but he's really good with a sword. Let me tell you that. He would cut us all up if he wanted.
He is actually proven to be an incredibly valuable asset.
So he nods and says, well, we always need people with the Ratter clans underneath the city. So you keep him as a pet if you wish. He starts putting more weed in his pipe and then lights it again. But as he's saying that, as he's doing that, he says, so you 8 months ago left me with a job to do out here. And he lights it and starts puffing on it again. And he says, a job that, as far as I'm aware, you royally fucked up beyond all imagining. As I should have known you would do. But
I knew that would happen as well. He shouldn't have let
that
Sangard go.
that is
was a really big mistake.
That is on me. And let me make one thing very clear. If it were up to me, you 3 would be in front of a firing squad when we got home. And he takes a long toke. And he says, but as it so happens, you are to be rewarded for your sterling assassination of Clint O'Mal, the rogue Blackcoat. He says, he says, medals may be involved. And he looks really disgusted when he says this. He says, but as far as I am concerned, I will remain watching all of you. But you must also know this. Nobody has kept your feet from the fire more than me. I have had your backs for months, covering for you. And the news I get back when I approach, number 1, the only time you see fit to contact me is asking for a fucking army. And number 2, when I approach the mountains, all I hear is massacres, undead hordes, God knows what else, and a fucking dragon, and an entire wagon load of bail bonds eradicated in the wastelands that you were meant to take. And he just
that was also Sangard would put wait for like a chance to.
He's not finished.
Allowed to speak.
No, he's not finished. He says, I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear, oh, but this dragon turned up here, and then this happened over here, and then this happened. No, no. It's always you three. Always. I can only protect you so far. Now, that's the good news. Would you now like the bad news?
True. And I'm going to take a heavy. I'm going to take a real heavy toke of the cig that he's just given us. It's probably going to go straight to my head.
When I received your letter, I went straight to the Archlector. He is essentially the, shall we say, the resource keeper of the Blackcoats, you know. And I was not able to procure funds to raise the troops when we are not at war to come and pull your arses out of the fire. So unfortunately, I had to take matters into my own hands. Do you know how much a 5,000 trooper contingent of Dominion army costs when we are not at war? Hazard a guess for me. Go ahead.
20 million?
Don't be fucking absurd. I was told you have a brain. I suggest you start fucking using it.
And know that we won't probably ever pay it back, will we?
No. The answer is 65,000 shillings. Of which I have paid 30 out of my own private holdings. And no, you do not have to pay it back. Mainly because I know you feckers don't have any money left. And he just smiles and like puts the pipe back in his mouth. He says, to pay for your half, well, your 35,000 shillings, I had to sell most of your holdings from under you and raid your savings using my own privilege.
But I alone had 20,000.
He just shrugs and says, you have 35,000 left now, my friend. Call it, put it this way. I paid 30,000 of the cost out of my own. I recouped some of my money by selling some of your holdings. Well, when I say some, all but that rat hole infested farm. I don't want anything to do with what the hell is going on there, okay? Everything else is now property of the crown. Do you understand?
Haggard nods.
Yep.
Fair enough, you did save our asses.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be happy that you left the farm.
So, in response to your question before, I did a 65k sum because I just wanted to give a number out there. You each have 2,000 shillings left.
Okay.
Right, so just keeping that across the board. So it's something to do stuff with, but not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. He says, all is not lost, though. When you are home, back at the library, you will have 1 day before you must vacate the premises. Wherever you need your things to go, I can put them in storage, I can do whatever. All of your weapons and armour will be returned to you. And I do believe he gets out this Faerite dagger in its sheath and he slides it across the table to you, Sangern. This is yours. Do not lose it again.
Sangern will nod and then, put it away.
When you return to your library rat hole, there will be a letter waiting for you there. Call it an olive branch, a job with which you may do half on the books and half not, where you may recoup some of your lost earnings. Any questions?
No, sir.
I have one.
I thought you might.
You mentioned bail bonds that we were supposed to take.
Hmm.
Intriguing. What brings that up?
He says, you were supposed to take what was on the train and bring it back to the Blackcoats. That was your job. That you wanted to do. That you brought to me. And you landed me in a metric shit ton of feces. Any other questions? Or do I need to continue stating the fucking obvious?
No, sir. I'm gonna
At this
carry.
point,
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna have another heavy puff of the cig.
Okay.
Yeah, Dennis is gonna look at Sangren and just go. You told him we'd give all the money to the Blackcoats.
Sangren is just like looking between the two of them, like, are you guys like losing your minds?
Yeah, it's gonna be like surprise Pikachu.
No. You forced us into this job, which I, from the start, said would probably go very badly, and you arranged it from the start in a way where we wouldn't get a penny out of it.
I'm just gonna look at Swan and say, this is what I have to deal with on the daily.
He just shakes his head. Just like it's sort of like you are. It's like a look giving you like you are the last person who should be making that comment right now.
Sangren is gonna step up and just say, "Sir, one last thing. Rake's sword was confiscated from him. It is a family heirloom of his."
He says, when your ratter friend leaves the train, his sword will be returned to him, and you, he points directly at you, Sungun, are responsible for his behavior.
Yes, sir. And then Sangren's gonna walk out.
He just sits back and lets you all leave.
That was the end of the meeting, right?
Yeah, that was the end of the meeting, yeah.
I guess we'd probably say goodbye and then leave.
Yeah.
Basic courtesy.
I mean, that's the yes, sir, was... We had been dismissed at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we can continue on the train if you wish. Or we can go to New Corinth. It's up to you.
Do we know where or when we'd be receiving our medals?
Not yet, no.
If and when.
Yeah, I would ask around on the train maybe about that first. Like, go around, ask people, alright, did you hear we're getting medals? Stuff like that. Just maybe brag around to point out, oh yeah, we had this great accomplishment, you know?
I'm going to be honest, a lot of them are in on the fact that you are getting medals to cover up the fact that you're here on the down low, doing something that you shouldn't have been doing. So, yeah, like, they just, like, a lot of the receptions you are getting is just them shaking their heads and just, like, ignoring you, essentially, because they you know.
I think he did legitimately well, but...
Yeah.
Sangren is aware and has retired to the room and has informed Rake that he is getting his sword back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty happy with that. He's pretty happy.
No.
Alright, I'm gonna skip if you guys don't have anything particular.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna sit and stare out the window, maybe take some notes.
Sangren would probably hand off the cigarette he was given to either of them. Well, no, to Filiberto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take another heavy drag. Also, did you want to be found a place to be isolated from the world?
It would seem a good idea, but it's not like he can request, oh, can I have a wagon, but maybe he would request that you...
Couldn't you be thrown in with the living dead?
Yeah,
Or
no,
in the car?
that's what he's doing. He'll let you tie him up when he's asleep. That's about as much.
Yeah, no, what I mean is, you could be put, because we're driving back into the Dominion rather than out to the wastes. That car would be empty, would it not?
Yeah, but again, it would seem suspicious if he seemed locked up. It's just tie him to the bed or like cuff him up when he's asleep, and for now that should be enough. Like he has some self-control for now.
Okay.
And it is a long trip back, right?
Yeah, several weeks.
Okay. Do you have your own room?
No, we have one room. That's
Okay, then I guess we got to tie you to the bed, and I'm not sleeping anywhere near you.
You're a
We do
zombie.
have-
What are you worried
we-
about?
Yeah.
Hey, I
Also,
can
we do
still
have
have that.
ferrets.
I can still think that I'm I'm still a living human with blood running through my veins.
But yeah, we do have ferret chains. You can probably tie him up with that, but on the other hand, he probably knows how to undo them because it's his chains.
I mean, you know, you put a padlock on it. There's a padlock on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I will sleep with my rifle. I will sleep cuddling my rifle.
Did you, by the way, forget that you don't sleep?
Oh yeah, I will I will look like I'm sleeping while cuddling my rifle.
With the two people in this train who can tell exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
okay,
should
then
not be
I will.
kindly to you aiming a rifle at him either, so.
Okay, then I will probably sit in an observation car or something. If there's anywhere with a good window, I'll sit there. Rifle. I'll still sit there cuddling my rifle.
Yeah.
And I think probably any Blackcoat that sees me might understand that we've just seen plenty of shit. So we're like, okay, maybe I'm just on a very short fuse. Maybe just processing what I've just seen, sort of thing.
Okay. So, we can now head back to New Corinth if you're ready. I don't think anything else is going to happen on the train. So, over the next couple of weeks, you pass through the Barrowlands of the Dominion, and you can see, spring is on the way, and so all of the snows are clearing away, and as you get down to the warmer climes of the jagged coast, you do pass the city of Wrenhaven, which is one of the main cities. It's classed as a new city, just being built, but it's out there on the Wren River. And you also go. You actually pass the capital, so you swing south as the black train uses Northern Line. As you pass, a lot of people make the sign of the cross or any other sign against evil as the train goes by, because obviously the black train is a big bad omen. So no one likes it. It's a necessary evil sort of a thing, and you actually pass the capital city as you're on your way, which is called Felharrow. It is a city of imagine old Victorian gardens that are swathed in mist. That's pretty much what the city looks like. You go straight past it, and before you, a few of the Blackcoats lean out the window because their unofficial home is New Corinth. This is the unofficial headquarters of the Blackcoats, and you can see it glowering over the black glass sea, and it is a city of many towers, redoubts, and districts climbing away from the sea itself. And as you
Sanger does the thing where you kind of kind of sit out the window and take in the breeze.
yeah,
He's been here his whole life.
yeah.
This is like really home to him.
Yeah, so you can smell the sea breeze, and you can hear the calls of the whalers, and you can even hear the distant roar of a leviathan that's probably being hunted out there on the seas. These things like a mile long, so whenever they do call, you can't hear it from quite far away. So whatever you dread to think about what the sailors who are either taking that on or what it's hunting at that stage. But Leviathan blood is needed to make things run. So you guys head on along the coastline, the jagged coast, and you can see the actual land of the jagged coast is all blasted and, well, jagged, essentially. And you head your way into what I can only describe as Saint Denis from Red Dead Redemption 2 times 1,000. You guys rumble on in to the station, and you notice that whilst all the trains are in one area, the black train is sequestered and goes into its own paddock, away from prying eyes, and the train is attended to by black cowled priests and receptors who are all there blessing the train and thanking it for getting everybody here, and they're like spraying it with with holy oils and things as the doors open and the Blackcoats get out. And as soon as the Blackcoats get out, these guys prostrate themselves on the floor and they start, chanting slowly as the Blackcoats start like getting the stuff. They're not loading anything. You have already given your tithe of Fayrite. It was on the train and it's already been in the capital now. So you guys get off the train. And Rake just looks down at when he looks down the train as Swan gets off, and they all start like like backing away from him because they're like amazed about who he is essentially. And Rake just like looks at you, Sangun, and says, "He's a popular guy."
He's quite somebody.
Dennis, you were given Daisy. You were given the sword to give.
Yeah, I give it to I take the sword and give it to Ray basically as quickly as possible, as if it was a hot potato.
Okay. So he just like you just chuck it to him and he catches it. He just catches it. He doesn't even look. He's like just typical anime. Just like hand just snaps out and just catches it and he's like, he just nods and says, "Completion," and puts it back on. Puts it back. He actually puts it over his back, like just and straps it there and like, "I don't want you going anywhere," sort of a thing. Doesn't want it anywhere near the mud of the streets and goes, "Long time since I've been to a city. Well, one in this world anyway."
Have you been to New Corinth before, specifically?
When I was younger, yeah. But I've been in the Waste most of my life. How about you?
A few times. Originally from Valentia.
Ah, very posh.
The city of the educated people. Unlike most of these uncivilized savages.
Well, speaking on behalf of the savages, some of you educated people can be a bit unsufferable at times.
I know, right?
Sangern's gonna chuckle at that and say, "Alright, let's get going."
Yeah. I'm gonna ask Rake.
It's just like, he's talking about anyone but me, of course.
I was gonna ask Rake, how many of your people are in, do you know? Is there a big settlement in New Corinth?
He shrugs and goes, "Dunno, I've heard there's entire cities underground, but never really been there myself. I'll make contact though, see what I can find out."
Look if you can find someone who knows magic.
Magic?
Dennis really wants this.
You heard of magic, right? That's the thing that the guy who was resurrected
Yeah.
did. Just something less ugly, let's say.
I'm gonna look concerned at Dennis when you say that. I'm just gonna say to Dennis, don't overexert yourself.
So behind you, you see you sort of see Sangun's face drop as he looks behind you guys, and you see Tobias is there with 2 suitcases, and he goes, "This is marvelous! This is marvelous! This is an actual. Look at it! Look at this place! This is fantastic!" And he's got these 2, and he slams them down, and one of them slams onto Rake's foot, who like doesn't react. He just like looks in through the side of his eye.
When the case is slammed.
Yeah, and he just like steps to the side, and just like looks at him, and he goes, where to? Where to?"
I'm gonna say, who are you?
"Oh, I'm Tobias. Nice to meet you." He holds up.
Tobias, I thought we agreed that you were gonna go speak to Arthek.
"Well, I will. But I've nowhere to stay."
Well, Arthek will help you sort that out. Right now, we have pressing business for Swan. I think you met him, rather.
Yes.
Right,
Yes. I met him. He's a bracing gentleman.
That's a description. So let's get you on your way to Arthek, and then we'll deal with our situation, and I will get back to you soon.
So Arthak, you might, as soon as you say that, you look over, and Arthak's actually leaning against the exit of the platform, and he just like nods. When I say nods, he just like turns his nose up, like, "You all right?" sort of a thing to you guys.
From my understanding, can you remind me what Tobias looks like?
Nikola Tesla, but no
but
mustache,
crazier.
but crazy and no mustache.
Sangrid's gonna signal to Arthek because we have our, we established that we had our hand signal language. Like, these two should not be allowed together for any length of time. Trust me, it's bad news.
Do you say that to
We
Arthak?
have a lot to talk about. Yeah, to Arthek and our hand signal thing.
Okay, cool. So that's a lot, but so maybe roll.
Summarized, these two need to be apart.
Okay, okay. So
We'll catch up.
and he says, he signs back. Are they together? Quote unquote.
No, it's like no, both chemists.
Oh, say no more.
So guys, he would probably try. I do imagine he would manage to get his hands on a bottle of alcohol on the train.
Yeah.
He would shake it to see if Ken comes by.
Well, probably not here.
So Ken immediately materializes like on the
A license for him.
on the nearest pillar next to you. I think he goes, all right.
How's the farm doing?
Quiet, you know.
Really?
Yeah. You gonna drink that or?
That's for you, my son.
That's a gift for you, of course. And I would just throw it and imagine he can catch it with some telekinetic power.
Yeah, so it just stops above him and just like turns over and starts like pouring, and the liquid comes out.
Getting that headache, that familiar headache is returning.
And Rake just looks at you guys and is like, I've been in civilization for 3 minutes and I've already seen more weird shit than I saw in the Driftwood in 6 years. So.
Welcome to New Corinth, my friend.
You do have to understand.
Sanger just is like has his hand on his temples, like kind of massaging for the headache. Ken, Rake, Ken.
Yeah.
Let's start walking. We don't need to attract any more attention then.
Understandable. Don't call him too weird. We keep you on the same license.
Yeah. So like so finally like he finishes the bottle and burps and he jumps in the air and telekinetically I assume you're wearing a backpack, Dennis. You're wearing like your pack. I assume.
Yeah.
So with his telekinesis he opens it up and just slams into it and just goes, "Oh, it's good to be back."
Sanger's walking. Sanger's already on his way out. And it's kind of leading Tobias. He's got like I imagine Sanger's gonna grab both the luggages carefully and then put one hand on Tobias's back and lead him towards Arthek.
So Tobias says to you, just by the by, just one, what was that? What was that? Is that a mechanical construct of some sort?
We'll get into that later.
Didn't he know Ken?
Over...
I do swear that he met Ken already.
Tobias? No.
I thought Arthek. Okay.
No, yeah, Arthek is well aware of Ken. In fact, Arthek knew about Ken before we met Ken. That was when he met Ken. He was like, "Keep at a trip." They had already met. They had a conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
But so Tobias is taking. It's like, don't worry about that for now. We'll explain everything over very stiff drinks later.
Right. I only drink Shirley Temples. I hope you're aware. I'm sure you have.
Sure, we can manage.
Okay, good. So Arthak sees him and just nods and goes, "Who the fuck's this?"
Is Arthek saying it out loud?
Yeah, he just says it out loud.
It's someone we met. He has, he helped out, and he's gonna signal, explosions, many explosions. So Philberto doesn't know about the explosion. He's trying to keep this up for as long as possible, so that he can get him away.
He nods and says, "Right." And he signs to you and says, "Well, where do you want him?"
It's like he'd say outside. Let's see if we can find him a place to stay for now, and then in the sign language, he's gonna say, "For now, away. Soon a lab."
He just shrugs and says, without saying anything, without signing back, goes, "All right, leave him with me." And like Tobias looks at you guys like very strangely, like city folk, marvelous. And yeah, he shoos you away, essentially like Arthak shoos you away. He says, "Right, come with me, sir. Get you to some lodgings, eh?" And he walks off, and you can hear Arthak getting a barrage of questions about the city and how things are.
I'm going
And
to
then if I can get Arthak's attention, I will sign back to him. Sorry.
He just makes the affirmative but a whiskey glass sign. Basically means you owe me one or several.
I'm going to look at Sangan and say, who was that? I know it's Tobias. I was just saying. What's
he helped me out with some equipment. He helped me out with the blacksmith. The blacksmith's sorry. I'm trying to like remember how I meant to phrase this, and my sleep deprivation is like a little off, but yeah. So no, let's try that again. Sangard says he helped me with the blacksmith's project back in town.
It seems like a smart and it seems like an intellectual, perhaps.
That's one way of putting it.
Was he the one with all the Willy Pete?
With the
white phosphorus. The phosphorus.
That came out of the mayor's equipment, I think. But we'll figure that out later.
Oh, right.
I'm just not gonna buy that straight up.
Yeah, Sangard's run out of excuses, but he's away.
Was he the one with the grenade? The one that blew up the vampire lady and threw back?
Moving on, Sangard's gonna start walking. We need to get back. We need to get back and see what Swan has set up for us. Because I don't imagine that's not time sensitive.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear yes. I do need to go look for the kids first.
Yeah.
I do imagine they're at the farm, right?
Or are they back at the orphanage?
I don't know if Swan didn't sell that one, considering he said only the farm is there.
Yeah. The farm's gone. Oh, sorry, the farm's there. Everything else is gone, but you're allowed to stay in the library for one more day before it's knocked down, essentially.
Yeah, but are the kids at the farm then?
Yes, they're all there.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna need to buy a new orphanage in the city.
They're probably having all the kids on the farm are like Lord of the Flies.
I mean, I did have caretakers hired there. I do remember that, and there's farmers also.
Yeah, you're gonna need some money soon to pay people, or that you're gonna have an empty farm. But yeah.
I mean, a farm sells food, so I do imagine there's some level of sustainability.
Assuming they haven't gone all full Lord of the Flies and stuff.
Exactly.
I'm assuming Lord of the Flies, but instead of the speaking conch, they're using Mudblood's axe.
I honestly imagine they were just having the time of their life, because instead of having to do spy work in the city, they were just chilling in a farm. And we need to get them back to work. No lazing around.
They're gonna be like super beefy from working on a farm for 8 months. One of these kids is just gonna pick you up and say, "Oh, you're back, Dennis," and just give you like a really big hug, but like break a bone.
I need food for new orphans.
You don't like your orphans bulky?
Best for begging.
But yeah, so back to the library then, yes?
Yeah.
Figure out what Swan's got for us before we piss him off more.
Alrighty. So, we'll stop that sound effect and start this sound effect. Just put this on here in case you want to do it yourself. So, when you get back to the actual town, it's bustling, it's cityscapes, it's everything that you're seeing is essentially how you left it. Nothing's changed about New Corinth, thankfully, or perhaps not thankfully. You guys head to the library, and you can see there are several signs around that say that it has been marked for demolition, and demolition will occur tomorrow morning. So you have one more day. There are several workmen around, but they seem to be wearing black badges. The first one runs up to you, Dennis, and says, sir, forgive me. We had your description. We're here to remove anything that you need moving into storage until you get another place, that is.
Yeah, I don't store here much. Didn't you get caught in any of the traps?
No, there were no traps when we got here, sir.
Oh, there was a fucking of traps that I laid here, so at least collect the traps first. Otherwise, I don't keep here really anything. Talk to the other two.
So he does that. He gives the same information to you guys.
Yeah, Sangren's got like, all of his equipment and for sparring or whatever, and then some of the nicer bits of furniture. He'd probably have sent off.
Basically, everything. If you just say everything that you have there will be in storage, ready for you when you get your own place. Essentially, I mean, I don't think there's any reason to leave anything behind. So.
Yeah, he's gonna send. Yeah, everything of. Sangren doesn't really have much. It's just the equipment. Yeah, he's gonna keep all of his weapons and stuff, depending on what Swan's mission is gonna be for us.
Dennis would probably at this point just already wander off to the farm because that's more important to him for now, but I guess that's later.
I was going to move all of the various toxic chemicals that I would likely have in my lab and put those in a box, preferably in some sort of like secure box that won't immediately break. I assume I would have like a strong box or something. I don't absolutely do not want lots of potentially toxic and or explosive chemicals all mixing in one go.
That's cool. No, that's all good. That's all good.
And I assume that I would have some super meth.
Yes, but as I'm saying, these guys are employed by the Blackcoats. They're not going to ask any questions. Whatever you need in storage will go.
Oh no, I want
So-
the super meth.
Okay,
Pick up the super meth.
so just whatever you want on your whatever you want on your person that was here, just put it in your person. As long as you can carry it, just put it in your person. Don't need to ask me. It's all your stuff.
Can I see what Swan's mission is before I send the Gatling gun off to storage, just in case?
Yeah, so there is a letter there that has a wax seal on it. The wax seal is blank, so but it's not been opened.
Yep, Sangren will open it while they're, while Filiberto is, I guess, figuring out his chemical situation.
Yeah.
So, Dennis, as you're wandering around inside, just looking at where all your traps were, Ken just like puts his head up out of your bag and says, a few of the other fellows from the organisation came round, boss, and yeah, they disarmed everything, got rid of it.
And none of them got even caught.
No.
God damn it! I need to
I
really
think that's the worst
up
part.
my game. Anyway, that's the worst part. Like,
Well, I could just lie and say they did. Well,
if anyone else asks, please do. At least it'll scare them off.
alright.
Because say one guy or two if the others ask.
So, Sangern, you read the letter. So, greetings. I hope this letter finds you well. I will be brief. I would like to meet to retain your services for employment for an extended period. Well paid, but we can discuss this when you see me. Please give this letter to the clerk at Autumn and Western Shipping Service, and he will give you further instructions. Long live the Dominion. A friend.
That Autumn and Weston sounds familiar. Did we run into them before?
So no, but they do have a warehouse near the docks. It is a ammunition shipping and weapons shipping agency. They are, vaguely that their CEO has just died, and his son has taken over, and so he is now the new president of the corporation. And apparently he's doing very, very well, and is making a lot of money as both the Duskfall Empire and the Dominion are arming up. So he's obviously ramping up to support the Dominion.
I mean, we did just mess up a Dominion incursion into the
For all you know, if it's somebody at this corporation, Swan may be in debt to these people to arm the soldiers to come and get you.
Yeah.
So this might be like one of those things. You don't know, but like you.
Sangard's not gonna ask. He's gonna be like, all right. Should How late in the day is it? Would it be?
It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So it'd be a little late to go for a business meeting, really.
You could definitely go to the clerk. I mean, for all you know, the guy isn't going to be there. He's not just going to be a clerk, is he? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, if indeed there is a guy, so it might just be, that you need to just give your affirmation to this guy, and then they will sort out a date or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Sangren would either once everything's kind of settled here.
Mhm.
He's gonna set the Gatling gun to storage, I guess,
Mhm.
because if they don't have an actual base of operations, it's gonna be difficult, to justify carrying it around.
Mhm. Okay.
So he would kind of let the others know what's the contents of the letter, and then probably go to arrange a meeting at a future date.
Okay. So
Tomorrow, probably.
so you're gonna head down there tomorrow and see the clerk.
I think he'd probably, go there today to see the clerk to
Okay.
arrange the meeting.
All right. So, are you going on your own, or are you taking the guys with you?
That's up to them.
Okay.
He also, while he's out, he wants to kind of set up like a sheath sort of situation to disguise his new weapon, his
Mhm.
blade.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's gonna run a couple errands while he's out.
So we can skip past the running of the errands. It's going to cost you about 500 shillings to get your sheath made, and it won't be made till tomorrow. So, and he'll need to take the weapon off you to measure the dimensions and stuff, things like that, to get it all right.
He would also include Rake in explaining things, and if he wants to pick up anything to help him, because it's a different environment here than it was out in the wastes.
He just says, do they have corn dogs here? As you're walking down through the streets.
I think that might be a way for us to help recoup our losses. I think you and I could probably meet up with some of the cooks I used to employ from when I owned a bar.
So, as you guys are off out doing your business, we'll come back to you when you actually get to Autumn and Westerns. Filberto, you do see that there is a chest upstairs that seems to have been left with your lab. And one of the movers says, "Oh, this was left for you, sir. And well, for everyone, really. Do you want me to put it downstairs? You can all open it. Apparently, it's from Master Swan."
Yeah, okay. Set it open.
So the 2 or 3 guys move it downstairs and set it down. Seems quite heavy. He says, "If that's all, sir, we'll remove everything and be on our way."
Alright, thanks.
Yeah. Dennis would instruct him to wait with opening the chest until they're definitely gone.
Yeah.
We can skip forward to when they are.
Yeah.
So, who's opening the chest?
I will.
Okay. As you open it, you can see it is a very large chest, and you can see there's a red velvet bottom to it. There is what can only be described as a rifle, a very large rifle in there, with the name. There's an engraving on the barrel that says T. Kane Manufacturing Limited.
Interesting.
And a note saying from Swan, it just says, "Your esteemed friend made these on the trip. Insisted that I give them to you. Swan."
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no.
Can I inspect the weapon?
You certainly can. Talk amongst yourselves while I just sort something out.
I'm so glad that I got him away from you before you figured out who he was.
Well, just as I worked it out.
Damn. And I got
Also,
nothing.
now we know his last name, which is really unfortunate. Or you guys
Oh my.
do.
Yeah. Oh my.
I mean,
Particularly after the reworked law, if I recall correctly.
mhm.
With a certain piece of technology that we all now know will exist.
Or will it?
Oh.
I thought the law got reworked so that
Yeah,
there was
but
a
I
piece
don't.
of technology that is now no.
Yeah,
That was
it
retconned.
doesn't exist yet. It's a bit of a confusing because
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the war now works, but I guess we'll find out in due time.
Yeah.
Well,
just want to
assuming we
get
don't
back
just
to-
get ourselves killed, and it doesn't
No.
all go over our heads.
Or I could just accidentally rip a hole in space time and
Yeah,
nuke all the reality with the gun that I just pick up.
I
I
just
mean,
want to go to the farm.
I've already been on a trip through space time.
Yeah.
Was fun.
It was chill, yo.
Didn't bring any souvenirs.
Well, yeah. What
I did.
was
I have
that
a
on the other
Desert Eagle.
side? Yeah. What was that on the other
I'm not.
side?
Well, I'm not
He,
there
he
at the
didn't tell
time.
us in character, as far as I understand, that he was what was there on purpose.
A
Yeah.
lot happened in a very
Yeah.
short period of time.
It's because I think I saw a shining city. I saw city lights and stuff.
Sangren isn't
Through the door.
actually there with you at this time.
No, as in when I swear we saw you coming back.
I mean, Sangren is not with me and you right now. He's like in the city and
Oh,
at the
okay, yeah.
chest.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Like literally, he's not in the room with you.
Okay, fair. I would go see some. I would probably go look for a black market apothecary sort of thing. Somebody who I can pay some money and won't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need some I need medical treatment. I didn't want the Blackcoats to give me it, but I might end up that the Blackcoats might be giving it me. But,
we should have reported this thing with you going on to Swan, because if he finds out and we didn't tell him, it could be some trouble. But
If Swan didn't figure out that you weren't breathing from being in the car with him, then he's losing a step.
Yeah. Although I did have some pretty heavy cokes of that weed.
Yeah, but I imagine the complete utter lack of any kind of coughing or burning or anything.
You do have to keep in mind we are vampires with enhanced senses, and we didn't figure it out instantly.
Yeah, but
And
it's also Swan.
Swan is, yeah, but he's just a normal human at the end of the day, and a pretty
Plus,
old
we
one.
got blown up.
Yeah.
It's not a field agent, yeah.
We also got blown up.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I do know that.
Sorry, go on. So, the rifle, as you inspect it, it looks like... like this.
Oh my.
I have concerns.
Oh my. Can I inspect it? Can I try to disassemble it? Just not in any, just like go off, look at the barrel and stuff.
Okay, so do a mind check for me.
Sure. And that's when I fucking break it, isn't it?
No. Alright, so you try to disassemble it. This is so far beyond what should be technologically possible that you just can't fathom. It's actually freaking you out a little bit, because things that you can't fathom tend to disturb you. Whatever this is, it looks like it's been made by an alien of some sort. It shouldn't work, but it does, essentially.
Cool. What sort of ammunition does it chamber?
So, and that is another thing. It tends to chamber whatever you want it to chamber. It is a rail rifle. So anything that is put into the chamber that is bullet shaped will fire, essentially.
Does it have? If it's a rail rifle, does it have any electrical power source?
Yes.
Interesting indeed.
So it's almost like a particle accelerator rifle.
Ooh.
But you have no idea how it works. It just. But those are the rules for it. So that you have a special rule there. Okay. So what that means is, you know how you're rolling attacks, you're using mind, right? So say you got 2 attacks in a single round.
Yeah.
If you score 5 successes on one attack, you're like, ooh. You can then make the choice. If you're firing at a boss character, you can say, I'm going to gamble and try and get another 5 successes. If you do, then you can instantly kill that boss on a 3+. Yeah. But if you're firing against anyone else with a single attack and you get 5 successes, you can instantly kill them on a 3+. Just instantly kill them. No matter how much, yeah. So, next to the rifle, there is a chain and it seems to be a chain made of pure ferrite with a blade on either end of it. And it looks like this.
Ooh, that's
Fancy.
fancy. Pure ferrite.
Yeah. And the blades are ferrite too. But you notice that they can actually be clicked off, so you can swap the blades out. So they can actually be taken off.
So basically, your chains got upgraded.
Does it seem like better ferrite than what I have now, or is it just ferrite?
Well, it just seems like ferrite.
Okay, so just fancy blades.
Mhm.
Don't need. And more chain.
And more chain.
Never too much chain. And I also have Max X hidden back at the farm.
Mhm.
That's gonna be neat.
Speaking of Muckamuck,
I mean, he's dead as hell.
Yeah, he's dead as fuck. Yeah.
who said,
He's-
did anyone get out of the...
Us.
Not the you guys. Yeah.
As far as I remember, we
Ish.
did see that the people carrying the bones and carriages got
Uh,
away before the dragon
and-
came, but I guess nothing came out of that.
And even then, only 2 of you got away. 1 of you died. So,
Yeah.
right, you came back, but 1 of you died.
No, but did you die? Yes.
Hmm.
Actually, I did.
Well, yes, but actually no.
So,
Even better.
um,
I'm now back in black, baby.
so let's head to Autumn and Western.
Wait, do they see? Is there anything else in there, or is it?
No, that's it.
You know, new Blackcoats.
No, that's it. Yeah. Okay, that is also a thing. They have replaced your garbs of office, your black coats, with less ruined ones, or you can keep the ones that you already have. Exactly the same stats. They're not any better.
Both.
But they're there.
But they're there.
Yeah.
Normally, black coats like to keep their original coat for as long as humanly possible. Because it's like a sign of very bad luck if you get rid of it. But anyway.
Sangren would keep his, but like as like a memorabilia. But he doesn't know about the new ones yet, anyways.
No. I mean, Tobias made you the gunblade, so, as far as...
I'm not asking for a new weapon. I'm
Oh.
happy with mine.
Okay, so...
I was just hoping because I thought we lost the Blackcoats.
I don't think so. I think you did have them on you. Or if you... But if you did lose them...
Wearing them.
If you did... Yeah.
We didn't wear them to the shrine heist, so we wouldn't be obvious. We didn't wear them.
Okay, so these are your new coats then. Let's put it that way. So, you guys are at... you guys, I say, at Sangern, dealing with business, and you are with Rake. And Rake's getting a few odd looks, but the Ratters are known to walk around and do some courier work and things, so it's not that big of a deal. You guys get...
Sanger's been gone a while, but he was pretty well known, and he's also still gigantic.
Yeah, exactly. So no one's really stopping you, at least in this area. When you get to Autumn and Western, you are shown straight in. They're like pretty opulent offices for the Docklands, anyway. You can sort of see the bar that you used to own down the docks, and it's been repainted, not renamed, but repainted. So, don't know what's going on there. There seem to be quite a lot of the 6th Street crows hanging around it, though. So that's probably who it was sold to when you're looking down there. And those guys do not have a good reputation with you at this moment in time. So, Autumn and Western, though, is quite a nice office building. It's made of stone, which is another really weird thing for the Docklands. And when you go in, it's very busy. So you can hear the machining in the back, and there's people, moving crates of ammunition back and forth. And there's a clerk there, and he's got like a quill and parchment, and he's writing things down. He says, "I'll be within a minute, sir. 1 second. Right, name."
Sangren Nocturne, and I'm gonna the letters was it on like official parchment or something?
Yes.
On like business.
Yes.
So I would show the letter.
He says, "Ah, right." He goes behind him, and he goes to a safe and, opens it and brings out another letter. It says, The Charlton, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Here's your reservation. 3 rooms.
Just would Sangard know from having been around that what kind of is this then like an upscale place? I mean, it has
Very.
reservations. I don't
6
think
star.
it's anywhere else.
6 star. Yeah, very.
Ooh, 6-star.
I'm gonna nod. It's like I and like I assume there's a bit of a dress code.
He nods. He sort of looks at you like exacerbated, like obviously, you know. But he says, smart casual, please, sir. As non-casual and smart as you can make it.
Sangard's gonna nod like very like military nod, and thank you, and then head out.
Rake says to you, smart fucking casual. How am I meant to get in there?
I'm less concerned about you, honestly, than I am about Dennis.
He's like, right. Well, what's the address of that place? What's it called? The Charlton. Right, I'll meet you in the sewers underneath. And he basically just disappears straight away into the crowd and is gone.
I don't think I'll ever get used to that. And then Sangard's gonna head back to explain to them, and then and then see about finding a tailor.
Okay. So, that's fine. So I mean, the tailor is on your street is dead, but there are a few around the place that you may need to go. You may need to get on the way back, but you can actually talk to them, and we can just say that happens. We don't need to do that on screen. I mean, it'd be kind of boring. So let's just call it 200 gold, 200 each, to get like a decent bit of clobber. You're not gonna stand out so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'd impress upon them the severity of the need of this one to dress up, and like with particular, spending a particularly large amount of time explaining to Dennis.
All right, so you're back now with the suits. So they owe you 200 each. So we'll skip forward to where he comes back in with like 3 bags full of clothes, and sees you all like playing with your new toys.
And yeah, Sangard's gonna have like a moment of just like, what happened? Why do they have new weapons? Never mind, I'll deal with this in a minute. And it's like, all right, we've got a meeting set for 6 o'clock tomorrow with shall we say, the client, whoever that ends up being.
Where are we meeting them?
The Charleston.
Ooh, this client. Intriguing.
Dennis. This is a place that is probably going to be at least, if not potentially more upscale than that party we went to back in the day.
Dressed again.
No, I got you a suit.
Unless you want to wear a dress again. In our modern and liberal society, we can always accommodate such.
Then you can be wearing one. How about that?
No, I've got my
suits for both. Sangard puts his hand up. Suits for both of you.
Okay. I think I'd have like a professor's gown.
No, he's putting you in a smart suit. None of this professor gown stuff for this particular instance.
I mean, if it's a gift, then why not?
Yeah, right, fine.
Don't waste
No, this is an investment. This is an investment. And it was a 200 shilling investment.
Good on you then, because you didn't even ask me, so I'm not giving you a cent. But I can wear it if you want or not. So that's up to you as much on that one.
I'll get it from you later. It'll be worth it.
Anyway, off to the farm finally.
Okay.
Yeah, Sangard's gonna stick around if you guys are gonna head to the farm.
I did want to look for a back alley doctor, since I haven't.
Yeah.
And I want to go to the farm.
So what are you looking for the back alley doctors to do?
I'm looking them to for them to patch me up. I'm sure I don't know about anyone else because I didn't take any medical treatment.
Well, since we didn't do any relaxation between sessions, we can just say that happens. That you go to find your contacts, they inject you with some shit.
Yeah. Questionable drugs.
They're very mortified by that you're basically undead. But you know they are street doctors. They're not going to say anything. They just say, yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
They take your money. Let's call it a flat 500,
Sure.
and that gets you silence, number one. Number two gets you right up to your health, and it will fortify your health for 5 points. That means that you lose 5 points of health before you start losing health. And let's call this. You're gonna have to give this contact a name in between sessions, so make sure you come up with that. Make a note of that. But this is now your contact. This is now your guy to go to get like serums and.
Yeah, wasn't there a guy in the Horrible Bastards at one point?
There was, but if you want to trust that guy, because he's going to be really confused about why his boss hasn't returned, so you can go to him if you want, but you may have to answer a few questions.
I won't go to him yet. I might meet with him at some point, but mention our mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
Our mutual dead friend?
I mean, no, that wasn't as in our mutual friend, as in yours and mine, Sangun.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. You know, three crazy mad scientists in a room is even worse.
Hey guys, I got a phone call.
Yeah. So, we can. Let's see. Right. So we can actually get you guys to the farm now if you wish. Dennis, do you want to go to the farm now?
Yeah.
All right. So what are you when you get there? In general, like you go there on horseback. Let's say you just hire a horse for like about 20 gold just to hire it for the day.
Don't we have our horses anymore, or are they all parked at the farm?
They're all parked at the farm.
Okay.
So you guys, so you trot over there, and some of the kids come out to meet you and say, hey, how's it going? They're all like, wanting to know where you've been, what you've been doing, how things have been happening.
I greet them as usual, which is probably pretty casual. And so, all of you been hanging out just at the farm? Do you, or have any of you kept up the information gathering duties in the city?
They all looked at each other like, I mean, well, you weren't here, so we kind of just... And then one of them says, well, we mainly played handball, but, other times we... no.
At least you're all still alive.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to
Yes,
start back at work. You do have a debt to repay because you've been living on my money for all this time.
He's like, you don't have any money.
How do you know that?
Oh, there's the farm. Do you want back onto the street, smartass?
He just says, no. Just that a guy came and took all the money.
Yeah, it happens. We're gonna need to earn some again. And for that, to earn some money again, and for me to buy you fancy meat and stuff, I'm gonna need information again. That I'm back.
Aww.
Yeah, that's how it is in life. Anyway, good to see that all of you are at least alive.
He says, well, Jenny isn't. She died of tuberculosis, but apart from that, everything's fine.
Oh, God damn it. Of course she did. I'm gonna try... Once we get money, I'm gonna be able to afford doctors. And if worst comes to worst, go to this guy, and Dennis points at Gilberto. But only if worst comes to worst.
I'm just going to be snorting a line as you're doing this. And feeling a bit blazed.
Ugh.
Yeah, gotta have. Just gotta be snorting a line.
Again, if worst comes to worst.
You don't need a doctor when you've got me, my friend.
So they all look at him like quizzically and look back to you, Dennis, and they just shrug and go, okay, but we're going to play the rest of the day though, right?
today.
You want to play rounders?
Give me 30 minutes or so, okay?
Okay. They run off into like a field with a little fence around it, and they get a few bats and balls and start like knocking the ball around toward each other.
Are you playing games? I'm going to be slightly bobbing back and forth at this point. You know, what I've just snorted is just going straight to my head.
Yeah. Next
Pretty
thing
standard
is
for you.
checking out if the Makmak axe is there where it's hidden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a bit dirty, but it's there.
Yeah, because it was fancy. It was like a gold plated or something, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to reveal that you now picked that up?
Yeah, no, that's mine. I'm gonna ask if I would have a feeling for how much I could sell it.
Well, if you wanted to sell it, we're looking at around. You're thinking maybe you can get about 5,000 to 6,000 for it, but anyone selling this axe, you're gonna have to make sure that people don't recognize, you know, what the axe is, where it comes from, you know, because the people might recognize what it is and be really pissed off that somebody's selling it.
Recognize who it's supposed to belong to.
Yeah.
And they might wonder where it happened to him and why you have it.
Oh yeah, but we did have a deal. They do know that the axe belongs to me if Makamak fucked up the deal. Like, that was official.
Nobody knows what happened with the deal.
Yeah, and so the people who were there know what happened with the deal, yes, but all of those people are probably dead.
Yeah, but I do think that at least the organization would know that.
No, that was made on the farm.
Well, you're now making assumptions of what a third party. Yeah, of what a third party would be doing, and that's the world's domain. So maybe not. You don't know.
And was Muckamuck actually dead?
Oh, we don't know. I'll be very surprised if he wasn't.
But I mean, I will either sell it or keep it and fight with it. But as you said, there is the whole problem of people would recognize it's his axe. So if I want to keep it, I would also need to probably deal with the horrible bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I've got a friend in the horrible bastards.
Maybe I'm gonna paint it black and use it only when I'm on Blackcoat duty or something like that for now. For now, it's gonna go back into hiding where it was.
You're gonna coat it with like black tar or something.
Maybe. Yeah, and then after that, I guess it's time for playing with the kids. If the weapon's safe, it's safe. It's probably not gonna go anywhere for now. If it didn't in 8 months.
Okay, so you can get your contact out there to try and see who would be willing to pay for this, or you can do it yourself. Okay.
Not for now.
I mean, maybe that'd be a good first job for the kids, maybe. But
yeah, but the thing is, I guess I'll see how much they'll pay us for the next job before I'd say, because if they pay us for the next job, let's say 10,000 shillings each, and I'm not gonna be selling the axe for 5,000. Not
true.
worth it.
True. Okay. So let us go. Sangun, when you're finished with your stuff, are you gonna go back to the farm? Because you're gonna be thinking that's where they are, essentially. You know, if they're not at the library.
Really doesn't want to, but you know, he does need to make sure that everybody gets to the appointment on time tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just gonna let him know, you know, when he gets there. It's like, don't plan on I'm not planning on setting up shop here, but we do need to have a spot before we head out tomorrow.
Okay, so eventually you another 20 gold from you, Sangun, for hiring a Shire horse. A very large Shire horse plops up, and all the kids start cheering as Sangun approaches, and because they love like big dudes, because the kids find giants really cool, so they're just like, you know, going crazy, and one of them throws Sangun a ball. Are you gonna try and catch it, Sangun, or?
Yeah, Sangun will catch it. He'll, you know, he'll play with. He'll toss the ball back to the kids as well.
So if they toss you a handball, there is a goal net in there that they're playing with. If you want to try and aim for that, you can do that.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Do a strength check for me. Just throw it through the opposite wall.
Can I make that for the sake of the ball? Can I and the net? Can I
Yeah,
make it?
yeah. No. You just do a strength check, but just rein it in. You know, you don't need to. You're gauging
I will
how
not add
hard
my-
you can
I
do
will
it.
not add my giant strength to this roll.
Okay. Oh shit.
Just obliterates a kid with that.
I warned you. I said I wanted to use speed.
So you hurl this ball and it goes smashing into the net right in the top corner, and you sort of like lick your finger like tss, as you go past, and all the kids start cheering. So they're all like really impressed.
That's going to be the only good roll I get for the next like 4 sets.
One of them says, one of them says, Dennis never plays with us. He sucks.
I did say I'd play with them right after I cleaned the thing.
If you're playing rounders, can I offer to bowl?
They're playing handball now.
Oh, they're playing handball.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me sort out my business and then we can play a bit later. It'll be good to stretch my legs.
They all like nod and like go back to playing, picking teams for their game. So you hitch up the sire horse and like jump off. You can see Dennis is inside, generally looking over some papers and things and getting things in order at the farm. And Filberto's outside.
Papers I can
Wait,
read.
what is on these papers that he can't?
Well,
Yeah,
you-
he would go play with the kids as he said. Then
you know what I mean? Like you're looking at things like how much money have I got left here? How much Like you literally he's opening like chests and things. Like what have they taken? What have they left? Essentially, taking inventory, and calling things out to one of the farm hands who's frantically writing things down. But Filberto is sitting on the front porch and just like toking on a rather large spliff. Looks like.
It's got. I'll just be sat there stoned as all shit.
He looks a lot better than he did. To be fair, he looks like he looks almost like alive.
I see you've gotten looked at.
Yeah.
Did they come up with anything new?
Yeah, they gave me some new serum they've been trying, shall we say? They've got a my friend Radek has got a new serum that he's been trying. I don't really want to know what's in it. Maybe I might have to get the recipe off him someday. Makes me feel really alive.
Well, you look less dead, which is going to be helpful, I suppose, for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just kind of nod and head in to look for Dennis.
Yep. So Dennis has finally finished his inventory in there. It looks like, and he's getting ready to head out and play some games. I think.
So, 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to see in the morning about finding us some more temporary or more permanent accommodations inside the city. See what's available.
Seems like a better time to deal with that after the job, because then you'll hopefully have some money. For now, let's just keep things here under the pig stall.
I suppose so. Just add a character. Would you two have brought the trunk with the Blackcoats and such, or did Sangren end up having to pick that up?
I do think that Dennis would definitely not be responsible enough to do that. About Filberto, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I think he went straight from his medical nonsense to the farm. So
probably had to bring it.
Yeah. So that I guess that was the Shire horse and probably a cart.
Yeah.
So he said 20, probably another like 20 for the cart. Then Dean.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So add those to your.
Yep.
To what's going on.
By the way, I am assuming that I got my money from Filiberto. I'll deal with
you can get. I'll pay you 20 for the cart transport because that seems fair.
By I meant for the outfit. I assume I got the
For
money
the
to build
outfit.
that.
How much did I owe you?
It was 200.
Alright, yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Just so we have it accounted, because we're all broke again.
Yep.
All that stockpiled money gone. But that also means that most of the money for the military bailout came out of my funding.
Rip.
I mean, I had a very successful bar, and 14,000.
We had a very successful bar.
You had some part of it, but I mean,
Yeah.
you were earning several thousand.
They had you were very cash rich. They were very asset rich.
I
So
also had 14,000 of my own.
so technically they took kind of the similar. And I would argue that this year's stress Sangern has had to put up with also is factored in to the amount of money that has been.
Monetary losses.
Yeah.
Sanitary losses.
Hmm.
And by sanitary, I mean sanity.
I mean, you could keep the. I'd say keep the original definition.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Also, having to put up with you two in his library that he keeps trying to clean up, but there keeps being spilled acids and drugs and whatever Dennis brings out into the street from the street.
Well, blood bags. Human living blood bags, you know.
I meant more than just the filth.
Well, I mean, he might, you know, take a few random victims.
Yes, that's. I think that counts as filth as well.
Yeah.
For Sangren, anyways. Anyway, so Sangren's gonna like, all right, well, I've got the suits. We'll probably have to change in town so that we can not be dusty from the roads.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can skip forward to that day if you wish. That'd be good.
Sure.
I'm gonna do that.
I mean, Sangren. The only thing Sangren would have done during the next day, is probably pick up his the new sheath for his gunblade. It's fairly large, right? It's not something he can just.
Yeah. So when they give it to you, it is a magnetic sheath, so you can slide it into the sheath and it will stay there. You don't need to unbuckle it or anything, and it will generally clip there until you drag it out again. So you're pretty good. You're good to go.
Actually, there is something I do want to do during the day besides that.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys had anything you wanted to take care of.
I was wanting to test fire my new weapon at the farm. If we could lay out something like a little, you know, test target or something.
Hay bales.
Yeah, want something solid, so more like a barrel or something, an old barrel or like some wooden planks.
Or like
Yeah.
You can also just go hunting in the forest for like deer and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Those are
that'll also
similar
work.
to
Yeah, I could go
humans.
deer hunting. Yeah, that could
Ken
work.
loves hunting.
Explode the deer.
Ken loves hunting, so take him with you.
Yeah, sure.
We don't have to cover that, but we can just say that you've done it if you want to. It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to.
I want to roll it. Like,
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, we can say you've done it and roll for it if you want to do that. It's fine. Go ahead and roll several attacks. Let's see. How many hours you want to stay out there?
That's just a mind check, right?
Yeah.
Just done.
which is the shot for. I will just go out. I just want to hunt something. I just want to shoot something and test my new weapon.
Okay, cool.
Really
So let's do just the one then. Just do the one check to see.
Yeah, I think I just did.
Okay.
So that I think is score 5 successes.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, this is a very powerful rifle. It tends to be chargeable too, so you can set it. There is a thing where you can set the wattage underneath it.
Yeah.
So you can essentially all that does is it allows you to tell me, and to select how powerful you want the shot to be. Are you shooting to injure or are you shooting to obliterate? You know, that sort of a thing.
I was shooting at max power. The first shot I wanted to see
Um,
how powerful this thing was.
The first shot, the deer just evaporates in a red mist, and two antlers go flying into the air, essentially.
Is there any gristle left on the ground?
No, it is obliterated into Kingdom Come, essentially.
I'm going to take the antlers as a present.
Okay.
As a toy for the kids.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to maybe clean them off a bit, clean off the remains of the gristle or whatever off
Yeah.
the edges of them. But yeah.
Okay. So the next day, are you guys heading back to New Corinth now?
Yeah.
Well, the meeting's not till 6. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I wanted to know if Dennis wanted to do anything, but Sangren wants to go and see Arthek and potentially Tobias.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Dennis needs to see Artek too about, but I guess we have a mission instantly, so maybe after that.
Okay. So, you know where he lives. You know where Arthek lives. He's in a flat above the Hound's pub. So you can go and see him there. It's one of his many residences, but when he's living, it's like a safe house in the city, essentially.
Yeah, it's if it's where Sangren went to go to look for
Let's
him,
cut.
that's where he's gonna
Let's cut to a scene tomorrow morning. Then you've all agreed to meet at the Charlton, fully dressed and ready to go. You wrap your knuckles on the door, and a slot opens up at eye level, and it's a what looks like a chamberman. He says, "Yes."
Sangren for Arthek.
Ah, one moment. You hear like
I think
several
I've met this
bolts.
person before.
You hear several bolts on the other side of the door, and he opens up and says, "In the front row lounge, please, sir."
I'll nod and yeah, I don't think Sangren's got a coat on or anything.
No.
He's wearing his normal outfit.
So you walk in, and as you walk into the front room, you can see, he's sitting there with his forearms on his knees, just looking down with a glass of what looks like a hearty whiskey in his hand. He looks up at you and says, "Does he ever stop fucking talking?"
Not in my experience, unless he's blowing something up.
Like, right, well, he's in the bathroom now, checking the alchemical components of my mouthwash. So if you wouldn't mind, getting him out of here.
Yeah. Well, so so here's this Tobias here is probably has made some of the most ridiculous equipment that I've ever seen.
Hmm.
And I mean stuff that I don't think this stuff exists anywhere in the world. And then he's gonna explain to him in much better detail than he explained last time, like the revolving rocket launcher.
He says, that's all well and good, Sangun, but listen, my boy, I'm getting old, and I am not in the mood for a lodger right now. So, unless he's going to invent himself a new fucking house for him to move into, I'm really not really in the mood. So,
Oh, am I there?
uh,
Sandra?
if you want to
Sangren would've gone
be,
by himself,
if
but
you want to come of your own volition, you can come later into the conversation.
Okay, then later.
Yeah. So carry on.
but you know, if aside from what uses I might have from, I think the Blackcoats could benefit from his weaponry.
Tell you what. So Swan told me about the job he's sending you on. Well, the job that he's got for you. Apparently, you're going to be staying in the Charlton for the foreseeable, on somebody else's pay, by the way. So, bully for you. Number one. So you don't need a place right now. When you do need a place, come and contact me. I will get you a flat and I will stick him in it, and that's where he's going to stay. In fact, I'll just get him a flat now. I'm done. I'll make a few calls. I'm done.
He's sick of Tobias's shit already.
That's very, very fair. Sangren's it's like, I thank you. I will make this up. It will be worth it in the end.
Why don't we just add it to the tab, Sangun?
I have a feeling I'm going to be paying this off for the rest of my life.
He says, "What about the bar?"
Well, I haven't had a chance to check in on it yet, but I imagine Swan sold it off.
Yeah, 6th Street Crows by the sound of things. Not that those blokes need any more invitation to take more turf.
Well, we might see if we can do something about that later, but
I'm sure. There's a knock at the door, and the butler comes back and says, "Sir, there is a vagrant at the door. Shall I shoo him away?" And he looks directly at you, Sangun, and he says, "I think this one might be for you." You know what I mean?
I'm gonna shrug and then head to the door.
It's Dennis when you open the door.
Can I still see Arthek from where I'm at?
No.
The door?
No.
Are you here for me or for Arthek?
You remember our conversation on the train? For Arctic
Yep.
for now.
Okay.
Would be good if you stayed, though.
Yep. I'll turn towards the butler and just kind of give him a nod, like, you know, he's safe.
So the butler just shrugs like, what the fuck was I gonna do? Like, and just lets you in.
Yeah, so I'll lead Dennis back to the study.
So Arthak reclines and like puts one leg over the other and says, "Dennis, would you like a drink?"
I'm here to ask for a favor.
Oh, bully! I've been getting so many of those out recently. Why not?
Hope it's not too much, but you have a better record dealing with vampires than, let's say, my master did. I need a blood withdrawal. So I was wondering if you have like a cellar you could lock me into.
He stands up and walks over to you, and he like takes your chin in his hand, like, you know, just moves your. You can resist if you want, but he just like looks around and he says, not good. He says, are you craving right now?
I'm always craving lately.
He nods and says,
I got used to.
He nods and says, I have an attic, but I swear to you now, if you try and break out of it, and I'll treat you like every other vampire. You know, once people get into that zone, there's not much we can do for them anymore. I would advise you to try and hold it under control. You seem to be doing a very good job of it if you just walk through town on your own. So, you can stay here for as long as you like. It's my safe house. The attic is yours. There is a bed up there too. I use it for my informants when they need somewhere to lie low. It is very hard to get into and very hard to get out of. Do you want me to lock you in overnight? Is that what you're saying?
I prefer to be locked in.
Right.
For now, permanently, maybe with just a plate of food thrown in.
He nods and says, this kind of withdrawal, Dennis, it takes days. You do realise that, right?
It's not my first time.
He says, for now, I hear you have a meeting to be at. He goes into a safe underneath the bar area, and he gets out what looks like a syringe. He says, do me a favour. And you can see there's like a row of 6 syringes. 1 dose now, and 1 dose every 6 hours. That will get you enough time to get back here after you're finished. And then we'll take you through your detox. Sound good?
I do trust Sangren and Filberto enough to not fuck me over on the meeting. I do imagine I just cannot go.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get locked up and the chemicals when it's actually needed.
He nods and says, okay, let me know when you're ready to go up, and I'll take you up.
Yeah, I can go now.
So, he says, you'll see your friends in a few days.
Yep.
So he takes the ladder down. He goes to like a thing in the ceiling. He unlocks it and pulls it down. The ladder comes down. He says, right, make yourself at home. I'll get you some whiskey if you want.
Yeah, would be nice, thank you.
Do you like music?
I don't think I will be in the mood for music. It kind of feels like a hangover sometimes. And you know how hangovers are with music.
He just shrugs and says, all right, well, I'll give you a radio set. Anne Vane Blues are playing tonight, so that'll be something to listen to. He just shrugs and says, right, up you go.
Yeah.
So you go up and he throws it up behind you and he locks it. You can hear it lock underneath your feet, and it's quite light up here. Like, it's not that bad. There is a window, but it is behind armoured. You know, it is like a barred window. There's no getting out of it, really. And this is where you are.
Maybe tie himself up lightly, like tie himself up so that he can walk, but he can't do any rapid movements. Like, his movements are restricted to some extent.
Okay. Sounds good. So, we come back downstairs, and Arthak says to the butler, the gentleman upstairs is not to be disturbed, and for God's sake, man, keep Tobias away from that hatch. Do you understand? And the butler nods. Says, good. And you, get yourself to the Charlton. It's 3:30 already.
Sangren kind of was kind of just staring at the hatch. He's worried, you know.
He'll be fine.
He's worried, yeah. And he just kind of nods to Arthur and is like, yeah, thank you again, and you know, if you ever need anything, I'd like to pay some of this back at some point.
Oh, I'm sure I'll think of something.
And Sangren's gonna like kind of, you know, go for like their proper handshake.
Yeah, he reciprocates it.
And then head out to go, get himself changed and ready.
So, Filberto, are you already changed and ready, would you say?
I will just be conveniently stood outside, waiting.
Sweet.
All suited up and say, I just pout and wait and say, you're not ready, man.
I'll be ready by the time he'd be. Sanger would have found a place to change before he ever got to the restaurant.
Okay, so you get to the when you come into the restaurant, you're downstairs. It's the hotel restaurant, and you can see Filberto's already there. I assume you've taken a table, Filberto, and you're just having a drink. And yeah, so he's like gnawing on some hors d'oeuvres and just he looks pretty good. He's in like a gambling suit. Looks pretty, like he's supposed to be there. You walk in. Away you go.
I've ordered some fancy cocktail at a substantial expense.
Yeah. Let's just say, what have you ordered?
Well, I go for some super fancy vodka. Like, the thing is, I don't drink cocktails.
Could do a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, Bloody Mary.
Yeah. So like yeah.
Order 2, one for Sangern as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you're there with 2 Bloody Marys.
I assume they were just expecting us.
They're not there yet. So.
Or I'm at the restaurant.
Yeah, the reservations were made, but you've been told. Well, Filberto, you've been told you'll be called upstairs at the appropriate moment, so you're not going to have the meeting down here.
So yeah, Sangren would just kind of head in and sit with Filberto.
Yeah.
And if he offers him the drink, he's just gonna
yeah.
I'm good.
All right, and then
More
I'll
for
just
you.
be like more for me then.
You have noticed that Dennis has not turned up, Filberto.
Yeah. I will say, where's our chain wielding friend?
He is with Arthak. He is detoxing. He'll be out for a couple of days.
Good man. It was a bit wacko, that one.
Sangren is going to very determinedly raise an eyebrow at Filiberto.
Yeah.
So a waiter comes across and with one of his, his cloth is over one arm. Says, "Sir, you're expected in room 727. You have clearance.
Sorry, what was that?
You have clearance."
Sangren's gonna nod and then head up.
Yeah.
Both of you heading up.
I'll take the Bloody Mary that I was drinking with me.
But of course. So you get up there and you guys are patted down for weapons several times before you even get into the elevator. It's one of those mechanical elevators with a lever. So you, and up you go. So you head on up and eventually it shudders to a stop. And dings, and another guard opens the shutter. Says, "This way, please."
Sangren will move along.
Before you get in, they turn around and they seem to they bring up this apparatus, which is like a mechanical object, but it's sort of like a blinking light on it, and they run it around your body. And it seems to not do anything. And he goes, right, you can pass the Sanguine. And he does it to you, Filberto. He goes, right, you can go as well. And he puts it away.
Seen anything that might... I assume this is completely foreign technology.
It is, but it's also you get it. It's a magical sensor, so it senses whether you're either magical or carrying magic or able to do a lot of magic, and you're not. So, and if you were, your magic will be shut off for a while because it was that close to technology. It would just like dampen it for a long time. So yeah. So you guys head into the room. When you go in, it is an opulent Victorian style room. Sort of looks like one of the main suites on the Titanic, but obviously in a building. And the main window of which is the clock face. That is the clock face of the entire hotel, looking out over the Black Glass Sea. You can hear the gulls outside, but you can also see the rays of sunshine coming in of the fading daylight, and the windows are open, and there's a small balcony out there to have drinks on, at which one man is sitting at a table. He's a very good-looking man, and looks to be in his maybe early 30s. Short, cropped, sandy blonde hair, and vibrant blue eyes. But when he sees you, he sort of rubs at his face, and you can see his hair goes black, pitch black, and his eyes go very dark as well. Dark blue, but still dark. And he stands up and says, "Gentlemen, come and join me, please."
Okay, and I'll walk in, and I'll shake his hand. I'll offer a hand to shake.
Yeah, he shakes it.
Vanguard will do the same and sit down.
He says, "Felix Autumn, at your service." Felix, hello. And you are?
Roberto?
The Valentian, yes. And...
Vanguard Nocturne.
Right, the local. Please take a seat. Where is your other fellow?
He is handling some personal business, but he has asked us to handle any of the business side. He will be joining us as soon as he's able.
He nods and sits back in his chair. It says, "Would you like a drink? Refreshments, yes?"
Water's
right,
fine for me.
I've got mine, thanks.
He nods and says, "So I have a very delicate matter, gentlemen, and you come very highly recommended by a mutual friend of ours. What I can offer you whilst you are on retainer to me, before I go anywhere, is separate suites, 3 of them, in the hotel for as long as you're working for me. All of your needs will be seen to whilst you're here. I must stress, this is of the most delicate nature. I do not know if you've heard, but since you've left, our esteemed overseer, an overseer basically is the mayor of New Corinth, our esteemed overseer has been killed. Well, he was mugged, but I believe it to have been a planned hit. It occurred in Helios Plaza, one of the most secure places in all of New Corinth. Now, I know you can get into the plaza with your Blackcoat credentials, and you can investigate this for me. I don't know whether you've seen the posters, and you guys have seen the posters, but I'm running for mayor. I plan to be the next overseer of New Corinth. So you could earn yourself a very powerful friend here. Need I say more? But I wish to know whether the office I'm stepping into is in the crosshairs of some very powerful people, and if it is, I need to know who they are and how I can deal with them.
Are there any obvious players, say incumbents in the administration, might be looking for this job? Do you know of anyone else that might be making a bid?
Well, the election is in 6 weeks, and the only other person running is Harlan Gal. I will type that in just so you can...
I'm gonna ask. Doesn't that name ring a bell? I'm just gonna. This is just an out of character name.
Yes. So Harlan Gal was the deputy overseer of the previous overseer. So,
This isn't the guy that we met at the party. I think he had a similar name.
yes, I think it actually is the same guy.
Oh, it is.
Hmm.
Oh dear. Interesting.
Which guy did? There were a lot of people we met at that party. Was this your judge friend?
That's what I was asking. Was it the judge friend? Because I remember his name also started with an H.
Yes.
Oh my.
Right. Well, I mean, more a judge associate than an actual. Sangren's just gonna nod and just keep a straight face.
Well,
I'm not gonna offer anything.
Yeah.
The previous. The previous guy was called Jensen Crow. Previous overseer. He says, Mr. Crow and I were firm friends, and it pained me to hear that he'd passed. He was a great man, bringing in some great reforms, mainly the institution of a 6-hour workday, things like that I really do stand behind. So his death has set the populists of the city back quite far. I wish to take up his mantle, but I wish to know who I'm up against, and that is where you come in.
Understood. We'll see what we can find out.
Your rooms are next door to mine. Yeah, we have 726 and 728. And your other friend may take whatever room he wishes on this floor.
I'll let him know when. We'll see him in when he's available, but we'll get started right away.
He nods and says, he says, I need to stress, not everybody in this city wishes these reforms to take place. I know we have so many people in this city needing work that we could shorten hours and up pay and still come out as millionaires every single month. Easily done, gentlemen. Times are changing. A new age is upon us. New technologies, new ways of living, new peace with Duskfall. Perhaps. We'll see. But I need to know I'll survive in that seat long enough to make these changes.
Did you know that if Crow had any particular policies that might anger the populace? I mean, other than working directives are one thing, but drug crackdowns or gang affiliations and drug crackdowns.
He shrugs and says, as far as I know, no. Crow was squeaky clean. He was a war veteran. No, he used to ply the seas, which is why he was elected. I frankly was never that way inclined. I was the friend who went to university whilst he was the friend who joined the army, but still, we remained close. We both share a similar vision for the future. Future where not one of us has to go hungry. But I'm going to need help surviving getting to that point.
Is your campaign already public? Well, actually, I would know that. I assume I would know.
We had seen the posters.
So you have seen posters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm going to ask, have you received any threats to date?
Oh, politicians always receive threats daily, my friend. We need to narrow them down, essentially. But
any from the obvious big players, or
no one but that stupid.
Well, let's if you can give us what you have on potential threats that you received and that the predecessor, the former mayor received, maybe we can see if there's any similarities that we need to be aware of, or get us some leads.
He nods and says, I'll have dossiers sent to your rooms. But for now, let's have a drink. And he pours you all some vodka. And says, to a new Corinth.
Yeah. Sangren
he knocks his back, and you can see that the sun is going down over the black glass sea as we fade to black and end the session there.
Nice.
There we go.
Well, we're all getting drunk in a 6-star hotel. Nice.
Well, I mean,
except Dennis, who's now just.
Wait, well, there is after the meeting with Rake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I assume we can just handle that in the next session.
You can handle it next session. That's fine. Rake is getting info at the moment. Like, he's downstairs meeting his people. So, yeah, he's going to be in
downstairs.
Yeah, literally, like in the sewers. Yeah.
You go downstairs till you get down all the stairs, and then find some more stairs to go down, and go down those stairs too.
Yeah, exactly. But looks like you guys are getting caught up in some political shenanigans, which would be pretty fun to find out what the hell's going on. And not your fault, no. No.
It's gonna be somehow our fault anyway.
Yeah,
no.
not yet.
There are definitely going to be things that are going to be blamed on us.
Yeah. Like usual, yes.
But we're starting off with a clean slate here.
Yes.
I just hope we get those medals.
I'm also like stressing that even though things keep going wrong, you guys keep living and you guys keep coming out victorious despite the collateral damage. So your reputation in the Blackcoats is actually quite high at the moment, which is, I'm not sure whether you picked up on that, but this is not the kind of job that would be given to a six-day rookie, you know. So
I'm surprised it was given to us even with our accomplishments, because this looks like a subtlety job.
Unless Swan is thinking, I just want to get this guy off my back, I don't give a shit, but I don't want to give him any of my good people, so you know, you never know. But that's the fun of the game, right? You don't know. He has shown he has a fatherly affection for you, he just is very harsh. You're basically his guys, essentially. You know. So yeah, you think of that what you will.
He does have to bring out the cane every once in a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know. Yeah. Stop nearly ending the world, then, and he might just, you know.
I mean, to be fair, we just really have only ended trains.
That's true.
A lot of.
That's true.
Only one train.
Yeah. My curious question is, what does Swan stand to gain from this?
Having
but I mean, besides money.
Having the new mayor of New Corinth in your pocket would be a very good way of.
With heart.
No.
Yeah.
Since most Blackcoats are filthy criminals, what's Swan's get up?
Well.
He had a heroin copy, right?
Yes. Yes, among other things.
But you know, I mean, to be fair, Blackcoats don't have to be criminals. They're encouraged to do it to be in touch with the underworld. But Swan, as long as you're in touch with the underworld, how you're being in touch with the underworld is really irrelevant,
most chamber vigilant Blackcoats do not go into criminal enterprises simply because they're normally involved on a political level anyway, so they can pay informants to do that for them. You know, most of the brutal, like the chamber, oh my god, Terminus, yes. They are definitely in the criminal underworld, like neck deep, and a few others. Chamber Arcane too, because they like to smuggle people in and out of their of being in their you know, being in their stuff. So yeah, like you guys, Chamber Vigilant. Among the Chamber Vigilant, Filberto will be considered an outlier, but you would also be considered very useful because they don't want to get their hands dirty, so it's very useful that you are, because they can come to you and say, hey, do you mind getting me some poison? Or do you mind making sure this person doesn't come back from their night out on the town, you know? Or do you mind, you know? So, like, yeah, there's... Even though you guys are outliers, it doesn't mean that, you know, you guys...
It's not necessarily a bad...
Sanguine, only Filberto is out. I imagine Chamber Sanguine does dwell in the shadows more.
Yeah.
Random stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They probably are just the watchers sitting there watching, you know, the people you barely see.
Yeah,
I think mostly they're hunting, actually. They're more just constantly hunting down the threats.
Yeah, and higher society, because vampires are often nobles or...
Yeah.
Or like, if it's business, it's mostly like stuff like prostitution, because that's where a vampire would go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
As you do.
Don't say.
Exactly. That's right. My first thought was, yeah, that was exactly where you went. Wasn't that first session, Dennis?
The first thing you did, the first session.
Was go to the whorehouse and feed on whores.
It's cheap and
Well,
effective.
if that goes on the recording.
I mean, it happened. We
I know.
were there.
No, I mean my comment about it just goes on the
yeah.
recording.
Right, so on that, I will stop the recording. And I will speak to you guys next week.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, have a good one. See you later.
Yep.
Bye now. Bye now.